One, two, three, four.
It's time to start another episode of Rune Factory 2! Uh, I'm going to wait for this song to end. Now that you all can hear it even. Oh, right. Close my browser. So a like doesn't impact the game as much. I want to make a party box!
Party box?
A Magic the Gathering party box! Essentially a single deck of Magic the Gathering and assorted card game cards you can just pull out and just have a nice game with a group. You don't have to make your own decks, so there's no argument about power level. Just some people hanging out and playing all sorts of weird, neat, and interesting cards. Yes, I'm jumping on the bandwagon that got brought to the public eye by a recent group YouTube channel? Yeah, I think that's the right term. The person has a, what is it, about 400-ish card deck of a whole bunch of memories. And actually, it is something that I kind of did in the past, because I have a 225 card Battle of Wits deck. And there have been times where I've been hanging out with friends and stuff like, hey, let's just play a game, let's just use this deck as our, like, communal deck. Are you kidding me? My earbud is already dying. Whatever, I still have the other one. You know, draw cards from the deck, play the cards, communal graveyard, blah blah blah. It's nice. So, I've had a few thoughts about how to do a nice, good, proper party box. But I need the axe. So, the first thought that I had was that I would buy a whole bunch of copies of Booster Tutor. They're like 25 cents if you get the non-foil. So just buy, you know, at least 4 of it, but you know, a lot of copies of it. And whenever I play Commander in person, before the game just go like, hey, I want to make a party box. Like, can we all just add a copy of Booster Tutor to our decks? Like, any color of mana to play it, you know. And then also, I wanted to get a whole bunch of, like, booster packs, preferably cheap. Unfortunately, the only way to get a bunch of booster packs cheap is to buy a box, but I want a bunch of packs from different sets, so, about that, but whatever. Some LGSs have is like, hey, if you buy, you can buy 12 packs for the price of, like, 10. So I want to do stuff like that.
Jesus.
Yeah. Buy a whole bunch of different booster packs, and then someone does a booster tutor, it's like, here's, you know, a whole bunch of booster packs of Magic the Gathering. You can pick whatever you like. And that would be... And then all the cards that get picked by the booster tutors would then wind up being added to the list that would eventually become the party box. And it'll all just be a mismatch of, you know, randomly pulled cards from boosters, and also throw in some booster packs of other stuff as well. Like, I found a booster box of, like, pony-related cards. Not the collectible card game pony, just pony cards. And yes, there is a derpy card in that set. It's like a super secret rare, but there is a derpy card. It's like the idea, you know, going out to events, someone opens up a card, plays it in, have them sign it, put in the cube, or party box, whatever, put it in the deck. The other idea that I had was to just build the base of the party box myself. Just throw in a whole bunch of cards that I have that, say, I've always wanted to play in games but never could. Or, like, you know, it's like, oh, I really want to use this card in Commander, but I can never, you know, find a deck that I'd actually want to put it in. It's like, yeah, no, just throw that in. And then throw in, like, a Booster Tutor in there as well to, you know, add to the party. The thing about that, though, is I have another really sneaky idea to kind of try to slow down the party box growth that I think could be rather interesting.
Oh?
Azura, I want you to go and search up the magic card AWOL. I'd send it to you, but I closed my internet browser.
Sorry, wall?
AWOL.
Spell
I think
it.
AWOL.
Okay.
Like someone having gone AWOL.
Absent without leave, yes.
Exactly. I actually knew someone in one of my classes back in like middle school whose name was like Aaron, spelled with an A, wall. Not quite. One day he was absent, and we made a few AWOL jokes about that. And then he came back the next day and said, "Yeah, I was AWOL."
You crazy, Claire. You crazy.
No, the crazy part is I hadn't thought of the guy since like 8th grade. It's been like 16 years. So, Zoe, do you see... Have you managed to find the card?
Yeah.
Care to explain what it does to the audience?
Oh, you want me... Okay, hang on. I closed the tab. I thought you just wanted me to look at it. Alright. For 1 white mana and 2 generic mana.
So 2 and a white.
Remove target attacking creature from the game. Then remove it from the removed from game zone and put it into the absolutely removed from the freaking game forever zone.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well. So the idea... So my thoughts have a booster tutor, have an AWOL, and have a Death Wish, I believe is the card, in the party box, like, from the onset. Where booster tutor, open up a sealed booster pack of Magic the Gathering cards, choose one of those cards, and, like, put it into your hand. The rest of the cards are not in the game. AWOL takes a card out of the game. And Death Wish. Lose half your life rounded up, grab a card you own from outside the game, and put it into your hand. Famously noted for that one time that I managed to win a game of Commander with Exodia. I literally made an entire Commander deck based around just getting Death Wish, casting it and copying it 4 times to search for all 5 pieces of Exodia and put them all in my hand at once just to win a game. It was absolutely worth it, and it was awesome. The reactions of the other 2 players. I did not know what I was doing, especially when I got up from the table to run to the other room because I left my Yu-Gi-Oh cards there. But yeah, so my thought is, if you use Death Wish, blah blah, you lose half your life, you bring a card from outside the game into the game, but that card will now be part of the party box, so, you know, be careful. Booster tutor, whatever card, you know, in the box it goes, but if you AWOL a card, that's out! That's just gone. You take the card, you throw it out. You know, to prevent the box from getting too big, necessarily. But also, I'd forgotten that AWOL only targets attacking creatures, so if you put in something like the Seal of Orichalcos... I'm trying to remember what the Seal of Orichalcos from memory, but like all anyone remembers of it from the show is it gives all of your creatures plus 500 attack, and if you lose the duel, you lose your soul. So I thought it would be kind of humorous to throw in a Seal of Orichalcos in the box and say, like, if you play the Seal of Orichalcos and you lose that game, you are no longer allowed to play the party box. But I think it would be a lot more... Pardon?
That feels mean.
I think it would be a lot more fair of... If you play the Seal of Orichalcos and you lose, you have to sign the Seal of Orichalcos, and it has quote-unquote taken your soul. And then maybe you just can't use the Seal of Orichalcos in future games of the party box, because it's already claimed your soul. I'm thinking maybe something similar, because if, you know, someone else loses while the seal is in play, or maybe it should just be just that one person. You know, play it by ear, really. As it is. So yeah. Party box. Really don't think that... No, I think the last episode was more low energy. Whatever. Party box. Big old stack of cards everybody draws. You can put your cards from your hand face down as lands that tap for any color, or alternatively colorless mana. Just play cards. And the party box that was displayed, and thus will also be in my party box down the line, there are... Even though you're playing Magic the Gathering, there are non-Magic the Gathering cards in the party box. Because if someone like Booster Tutors and decides that they don't want to open a Magic pack, but they want to open, like, you know, say a pack of Pokemon cards, well, who's gonna stop them, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Gosh, there was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, 25th anniversary thing that happened recently, where they reprinted, like, the first set. And you can buy booster boxes of that. But it's like $143, I think, for a booster box of that. It's like, I just want, like, a few packs. Or you can buy the Korean version, which is like $40 for a booster box of apparently 40 boosters? Or so it claims. So, you know, much, much more tempting. Something probably, I don't know, sometime tonight or this weekend or whenever. Just gonna go and look around my card collection and just, you know, sort through the cards and... What's the term? Mary Kondo them?
What?
See if they spark joy.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. I don't exactly have many magic cards that have, like, memories attached to them. Oh god. Hey, Zara.
Yeah.
All Is Dust is a magic card that says each player sacrifices every colored permanent they control. Would a Yu-Gi-Oh card get removed from All Is Dust?
I don't know.
Someone has some Yu-Gi-Oh monster out and someone plays an All Is Dust. Would a Yu-Gi-Oh card count as a colored permanent?
I don't know.
What about, like, a Red Eyes Black Dragon?
Again, I don't know.
Oh, you're supposed to say, well, that one, sure, because it's a black dragon. It has a color to it.
You're asking me like I have any knowledge of Magic the Gathering or Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, you gotta be one of the cool kids to play the card games. Oh, I wonder if I can put a Sylveon in the party box. Yeah. So ideally, I'd want the party box to, like, evolve naturally over time
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, instead of just, oh, let's put, let's just throw in 100 cards because I think it would be cool. Like, I want it to go and evolve, like, by itself.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Mother. The printer that I had ordered online, like the mini, like, thermal printer, whatever thing, I should be getting tomorrow. What if I take those, the character cards that I had printed and try to put those in the, yeah, take those character cards and put those in the party box. What do you think?
You're silly.
I'd like to summon an Alicia. I mean, the best part about that is we can give them, like, Magic the Gathering stats. Well, that's right. I saw a thing online, I think yesterday, that was actually really completely awesome. Someone used like a mini thermal printer and a Raspberry Pi, hooked them up to make a actual Momir Vig machine. Um, Momir Vig is, I'd say, a limited format. I'll say it's a limited format of Magic the Gathering where everybody's deck is, I think it's like the same number of each of like the colored basic lands. It's like what, 8 of each basic or whatever. Uh, on any on a player's turns at sorcery speed, they may pay any amount of mana and discard a card. And if they do, they create a token that is a copy of a creature card of with converted mana cost X. X is the amount of mana that they used. However, it's a random monster card. Out of the entire history of, like, all monster cards, except maybe the silver-bordered ones, they just get one of those.
Alright.
So, you know, turn 1, you play a land, tap it, discard a land. I'm sure you might get a Llanowar Elves, or you might get a Phyrexian Obliterator. I don't know which of Phyrexian is the 1 mana thing. You might get a Sliver, you might get, like... You might get a Hope of Gerber, who knows? You just get a creature of that mana cost. And until now, it was basically only playable if either, 1, you had a huge assortment of cards at the ready to make into the piles, or 2, you played it online. So, but someone made a machine that you can just like, boop, boop, boop. It's like, yep, I want a... They hooked it up to like Scryfall. So you're just like, yep, I want a 1 mana creature, please. It's like, okay, here's your card. Take it off, put it down. Yeah, this is my creature. It's actually a decently fun play experience. I've tried it a few times, like, online. Not as fun, in my experience, as the, Omniscience draft. But, I mean, come on, you can't beat the Omniscience draft. You do, like, a draft, and then in the main gameplay itself, both players only start with 3 cards in hand. They have access to, you know, 5 mana each turn, 1 of each color, and also an Omniscience emblem. Players can play cards from their hands without paying their mana costs.
Interesting.
So, if you ever wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh! In Magic the Gathering, that's how you do it. So everyone picks, like, 7 and 8 mana, like, beat sticks and stuff, and card draw. But I think it was, like, a draft of, like, a specific pool, so it didn't have a lot of the cards that would be the most problematic. So it's like, if you know, put out a creature, like, when this enters, you draw a card, like, that's awesome! It's like, yeah, I'm gonna play this 8 mana thing, and I'm gonna return all of your creatures back to your hand. Like, if someone has an Omniscience Cube ready to go, like, online or whatever, or heck, if you're going to one of the conventions I'm going to, we can hang out and play Omniscience Cube. I am so down for that. Also, speaking of other formats of Magic the Gathering, because we're already on the topic, Horde Magic, which is supposed to be the only real, question mark, single-player Magic, paper Magic experience. Technically, there is a second, but it doesn't really work anymore. And remember, I'm just going off my memory here, so if I get stuff wrong, I don't know, point out in the comments, but, you know, don't be rude about it. Horde Magic the Gathering is a format where someone plays their deck. I don't know what format of deck they're supposed to be running, if it's supposed to be limited or standard, or people have suggested commander. Not sure. Against a deck that is almost entirely tokens, and preferably only one specific kind of token. I think it's most popular to have, like, zombie tokens. The players get 3 turns to build up before the Horde starts taking its turn. You could do multiplayer, but I think there's something you're supposed to do with the Horde deck. If you do, I don't know. When the Horde deck takes its turn, it plays the top card of the library. If that is a token, it repeats this process. So you have a few cards in the deck that's, like, say, maybe an Anthem effect. So, like, all of the zombies will get, like, a bonus, or, you know, reanimate all of the zombies or something, or, you know, whatever. I don't know exactly what goes in. That's part of what has been stopping me from making a Horde deck. Horde deck? So then, of course, the player or players now have to deal with, you know, a big old zombie horde coming down on them, and it's like, you've had 3 turns, then it takes its turn, so you're on, like, turn 4, and it just put out, like, 15, like, 3/3 zombies. Also, when the horde deck goes to attack, after it stops playing cards, then it attacks with as many creatures as possible. But I think that the creatures are still subject to summoning sickness. I really hope that they are. So there is that to work on. And if the Horde deck ever takes damage, they instead mill that many cards. If the Horde deck runs out of cards in the deck and also runs out of tokens on the field, it loses. I find it kind of ridiculous that one could just have, like, I don't know, indestructible, like, 2/2, like, you know, whatever, indestructible 1/1 with Death Touch that can block any number of creatures. So, you know, creepy doll, but with the ability to block as much stuff as it wants, and then just survive against the Horde deck by just blocking every turn. Yeah, that's not exactly balanced, but, like, whatever. Other single-player Magic format that I'm aware of, and this one I did actually try at one point, that's specifically meant to be used against a pre-release deck. Back in Magic, I don't know why I want to say 2015, because I don't think it was 2015, but back a fair couple of years ago in Magic, a set came out, and alongside the, like, pre-release, there was also, like, an oversized Garruk Planeswalker card. Starts at, like, I think 20 loyalty. And the idea is 1v1 it with your pre-release deck, see if you can win. And yeah, that's basically it.
Gotcha.
Technically, you could have a second person there, like, playing the Garruk and stuff, but you can also just have it play by itself and basically, okay, you know, don't be an idiot about it. It's going to try to use the most effective option possible whenever possible. Removal spells do not work on the Garruk, but of course you can still attack it. So, I think there's one that, like, summons, like, a wolf token or something, so And apparently it was a nice, like, spread between people, like, winning or losing to the Garuk. It seemed like losing to it was more common. And I managed to get one of these. They're not that expensive. Because they're an oversized card you can't use in a deck. Like... So I got my hands on one of these, and I decided... I believe I just gotten, what was it, Unstable? The latest unset, as of time of recording. Because I'm pretty sure it was. Unfinity, right. Unfinity. And if you don't think I'm putting it clear in my party box, you've got another thing coming. I'm putting it clear in the party box.
Okay.
There's the milk. Okay. I just, like, I'd gotten a box for my birthday, and I couldn't wait, and I started opening it, but it's like, okay, you know, instead of just ripping open all the packs, what if I actually try to make, like, you know, some limited decks? A couple of, like, sealed decks, you know, open 6 packs, make a deck. Play it, open up another 6 packs, build another deck, play them against each other. I thought, it's like, okay, but I have that Garuk card, what if I just play it against the Garuk? That's basically what it's supposed to be. Like, yeah, sure, fine. Both of the decks absolutely destroyed the Garuk. Like, it wasn't even close. And it's like... I don't know if they both just got incredibly lucky. I don't think they got, like, extremely lucky. I don't know if I just got, like, you know, lucky pulls for both of the decks. I don't think that they were, you know, amazing decks. I just think it's been power creep over these past however many years that, like, the Garuk was strong against, you know, what, 7 or 8 or so years ago. Not so strong against, like, now. Because cards are just better in general.
Right.
It used to be a real, like, important matter when a card was a 1-mana 2/1. And now cards will just be 1-mana 2/1s and, like, nobody cares. There's a recent set, because, like, power in Magic is supposed to be related to, like, the strength of, you know, people and animals and stuff. So, like, a 1/1, that's like a soldier. You know, wearing armor, has a spear, infantry unit, like, ready for war. Like, that's the baseline of what a 1/1 is supposed to be. And a bear is a 2/2. So, you know, 2 soldiers and a bear can fight each other to the death. And that would be like a fair fight and stuff. But 1/1 is also like the second weakest possible stat line that a card can have. Legally. So it's like, okay, well, what if we want to have something that's, you know, less than a fully trained infantry unit prepared for war? Like, what if we want to have, I don't know, a squirrel? Or something. It's like, the absolute weakest, you can make a card that won't just immediately go to the graveyard as soon as it comes out. It would be a 0/1. And that's still as tough as a soldier. Like, if you had a bear fight against 3 of these things, only 2 of them would die. And they would be like squirrels. I don't know why I chose squirrels for the example, but I'm going with it. Maybe someone gets a laugh out of this. I don't know. And frankly, if you do, good.
I'll just say this. With you saying squirrels, it's just making me think. Inscription cards. How could that work?
Inscriptions don't come in booster packs, but if you can get me a booster pack of inscription, get a booster pack of inscription, and put the card in the deck that has the coordinates on it into the box. If you are talking about the party box, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm talking about the party box.
Yeah.
But
So
what do you
you
mean
take... So for the subscription cards, you take whatever its cost is, which is normally 0, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 blood, or some number of bones. That's its mana cost. You have its attack and you have its defense. And abilities, just try to make them happen as best as you can. I think some of them could very well go on a 1-to-1 ratio. Or, like, you know, could still be played as originally intended. Some of them, like the elks moving, would effectively do nothing. Yeah, can I get, like, booster packs of Inscription? So I can have that for the booster tutor? Thanks. Eventually, I'm gonna have this party box. It's gonna have, like, 100 different card games. 100 different, like, sources of the cards in it. It's like, yeah, what game are we playing? It's like, I think technically it's supposed to be Magic? I have to keep notes on different effects and what some cards do and stuff, because there's no way I'm remembering all of this nonsense. Are you kidding me? Yes, right, the squirrels. So, at some point in development, relatively early on, Wizards of the Coast decided, screw it. So now, you know, there are 1/1 cats, there are 1/1 dogs, there are 1/1 squirrels, there are 1/1 humans. Like, it's just a stat line. It doesn't actually represent, like, what this is supposed to be. There's, like, a 3/4 archaeologist. There are 4/4 bears. There are trees with, like, 14 toughness. There are trees with 13 toughness. I know that much for sure. For certain. There are actually, like, 2 trees in Magic that are... Oh, that are rather interesting for that. Tree of Perdition is one of them. I'm blanking on what the other one was. Essentially, I think they're both 4 mana 0/13s. Tap it, and the green one, you exchange your life total with its toughness. With the black one, you exchange its toughness with an opponent's life total. One of them was like, okay, whatever, this is a card, and the other one was put into a rare slot, and people hated that it was put into a rare slot. And there was at least one LGS where if you showed them that you got a pack and pulled that as your rare, would give you another booster pack. As an apology. I think I might have one of the green ones in my collection somewhere, because I wanted to try using it in a modern deck, because the idea would be to put a bunch of, like, plus counters on it. So, as long as I can keep tapping it, my life total and its toughness will keep going up, because it changes its, like, its current amount. Yeah, yeah, your life total becomes its base toughness, but its current toughness becomes your life total. So if there are plus counters on it, and you just keep tapping, it'll just keep going up and up, like, infinitely. How stupid would it be to have that thing set? It's like, okay, permanently change its toughness, like, oh, now this thing has 20 toughness. Because you changed your life total with its toughness. Someone else puts it out, manages to change... Again, it's like, oh, cross that out. Now it's this much. Because, I mean, yeah. And I think I was disparaging just a couple of days ago about how, like, I only play Magic and stuff more so for, you know, the company of having people more than actually playing the game. And I just want to be able to just have fun with it, even if it's not, you know, as efficient as possible. And I think this might just be the just bloody well have fun with it and don't care about efficiency format.
Mhm.
Don't worry, sir. If I find a platinum angel, I'm putting that in the party box too. I mean, it's my favorite magic card. It has to go in there, right?
Are you also putting in a Black Lotus if you have one?
I don't have a Black Lotus.
Oh,
I have a Blacker Lotus card, but I don't want someone to just take it and rip it up.
fair point.
Helm of Awakening? Oh, wait. Helm of Awakening should go in there. Because when I first started playing Magic and I didn't really know of, like, the formats or the proper deck building rules or anything, I just knew, you know, 60 cards, build a deck, whatever. I had met someone online at, like, a fast food place. We didn't, you know, whatever. And I bought some cards off of him. And I had bought a few Sol Rings, because even back when I was brand new to the game, I knew Sol Ring was an awesome card. And I bought, I think, 5 Helm of Awakenings.
Oh, jeez.
It's a really nice, like, party card. Really. All spells cost 1 colorless mana less to cast. I had an evil idea. Okay. Imagine Warp World.
Sorry, imagine what?
Warp World. In the party box. I take it you're looking it up?
No. I mean, I'm also doing other
Oh.
stuff here, but alright.
You're doing Minecraft.
Warp World.
Okay.
That's
Oh, I was just about to
your
see
warp.
what it does.
No, you're playing the thing. I'll pull it up.
Because I think I have this one
So
memorized.
5 and 3 red mana.
Yep.
Sorcery. Each
Mhm.
player shuffles all permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then reveals that many cards from the top of his or her library. Each player puts all artifact, creature, and land cards revealed this way into play, then puts all enchantment cards revealed this way into play, and puts the rest in the bottom of his or her library in any order.
Yep. And I actually have a Warp World that I used against Josh Lee Kwai, and after the game I had him sign it for me. Josh Lee Kwai being a known, like, Magic person.
Ah.
Person in the Magic community. So, hey, I guess I'm taking that out of that deck and putting it in the box. Sandwich. That's gonna be so tasty when I sell it. Well, that sells for it. Gosh, you can almost just make it enough money just taking the lunches and selling them. You had a fair little chunk of money doing that. Alright, so... so I guess that is a card I technically have a memory with. Platinum Angel, I do have a few memories with that. One specific memory that I have was, back before I had Liberator as my artifact commander, I used to run, like, Vidalk and Orrery in the deck instead, so I could, you know, flash in cards. Because, turns out playing at instant speed is actually really good. And someone was about to attack me for, like, lethal damage. And so before, you know, before I took the damage, I had the opportunity to be able to draw one card. And I'd have exactly 7 mana left over after drawing the card. And it's like, okay, well, whatever happened, like, I was thinking at the time, I need All Is Dust. Because if I draw the All Is Dust, I can use Vidalk and Orrery to flash it in, and just make them lose all of their things. I can flash this in, make them lose everything. I just need this. And I can be... And then I can live, and, like, this little thing will, like... Because I was using a card that is, was it, like... Pay 2, tap it, draw a card, exile card from your hand. If you exile 5 different CMCs worth of cards this way, transform it, untap it, and gain 5 life. And then it taps for mana equal to your life total. And this would be the first time I was going to flip it. I had, like, a junk card in my hand of a different CMC, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to, like, draw a card and be able to flip this. But I need that card to be useful. Like... Oh no, I think it was, I couldn't flip it then, but I could flip it, like, on my next turn, potentially. Depending on what I drew for there. It's like, okay. So I just need to get that All Is Dust, play that, go to my turn, draw a card, draw with this, get a bunch of mana, hopefully get something else good enough to, like, cinch out this game. Because I still have, like, at least 30 or so life. I was being attacked for a lot. It's like, okay, I just need an All Is Dust, I can cast it and everything is fine. I did not draw the All Is Dust. I drew a Platinum Angel. Flash out the Platinum Angel, went down to -2. My next turn, I drew a card that didn't really help anything. So I wheeled it away. So, I went down to, I think, like, -8, I think it was. So even with the gain 5 life, the very first time I flipped that thing, I was at negative life. It was -2 or -3, I don't remember. After I'd flipped it, so it's like, great, I can tap this for negative mana. Isn't this wonderful?
Sure is.
But I think I was somehow able to win that game. But it's like, there were 2 cards in my deck that could save me at that moment. And I just neglected about one of them. I neglected to consider one of them. And I really must have hurt its feelings. Oh, also, Party Box rules. If you would search your library, don't. If you would shuffle the library, don't. If you would put cards, like, into the library, not at the top, like, say, put them into the bottom, those cards go to exile instead. So if you Warp World, you just exile all of the cards from the board, including lands, and everybody just gets a whole bunch of new cards in. I guess they could choose to play either as the cards they are, or as lands. Actually once played against someone who had a Warp World Commander deck. It was like pretty much all permanents other than the Warp World. They played red so they could play Warp World, blue so they could have effects that on ETB return Warp World from the graveyard back to the hand. And green, so they could have stuff that, like on ETB, makes a bunch of tokens. And that was essentially their entire game plan, was ramp up, cast Warp World, hope to get enough stuff between lands entering, hope to get enough mana to enter, and, between mana entering the field that can be used this same turn, / also mana that had been floating from earlier, and new tokens in play, and something to return Warp World, to then get Warp World back to hand and replay it again. And then just do that over and over again, assuming that opponents' boards would eventually fizzle out. They'd get Planeswalkers, instants, or sorceries eventually and just, run out of cards. And then you get some overwhelming position, maybe get like a Crater Hoop to enter, like other hasty things. Basically, giant haste enabler, giant board of swingers, and just attack with everything for game. And, like, he was playing it in Warp World, Warp World, Warp World. And then he started to notice that my board was also getting bigger, because I was in green and also ran a bunch of, like, things that make tokens on ETB. Like, sure, his board was the biggest out of everyone, but my board wasn't going down. He's like, you do know I used Warp World 3 times, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm also floating 27... Yeah, I did announce I'm floating 27 mana, right? So it's like... So I'd have stuff that, like, enters, like pay 3 mana to make a token. It's like, oh, yeah, I'll make 9/1/1 tokens in response to Warp World. Alright, keep going. And he was all like, oh. I don't know who won, but I'd like to think that it doesn't matter. I think the other two players wound up scooping because they, like, ran out of cards super fast. But there was just, like, the two of us, and I think that when he realized that my board wasn't immediately drained as well, I think he... No, I think these were two different experiences. I don't quite remember what had happened, but I just remember the Warp World player realizing that his Warp Worlds were benefiting my board, and just going, oh no. I actually have a deck where I run Warp World. I mentioned it because I was able to play it at one point. Where Warp World is actually just like a tech piece. Just like go to turn, float a whole bunch of mana, Warp World, get more stuff in. And like, yeah, I run a lot of instant sorceries and planeswalkers, mostly sorceries and planeswalkers in there. I don't care if I go from 30 permanents down to like 25, but my average CMC goes from 2 to 6. I'm doing well. So yeah, I think Warp World deserves a spot in there. Wouldn't you agree by now?
Sure.
Huh. Now that I think about it, I've wanted to have some sort of a project that I could do to represent all of the games I've played for my channel here. What if I use the party box for that? What if I find one card, preferably an MTG-related card, that represents the, like, each game in question, and put those in? And it's like, oh yeah, like, so, like, such and such card. It's like, yeah, that's from Alwa's Awakening. Was it Zoe? Whatever. It's like, oh yeah, that's an inscription card. For inscription.
interesting idea.
And then, I need some nice Rune Factory cards.
Rune Factory.
2. A fantasy Harvest Moon. God, Saints Row cards. Oh yeah, that's right, Fallout spoilers. Spoilers for the new Fallout-themed Magic set start coming out soon.
Ah.
I think, like, next week or something. And
Fun.
I don't know about anyone else, but I kind of really, really want to get a magic card that's, like, just a gun. To put into, like, my CDH deck. Just like, yeah, I'll play gun, and I will shoot your creature dead. Thank you. Like, what's your win condition? Gun. If they reflavor an Aetherflux Reservoir as a gun, I might just have to get it.
Ugh. I may have just made a mistake in what I am doing.
Uh-oh.
Like, not a really bad mistake, but it's just... I need to decide whether to fix it or just accept it as it is. I'm starting to make the Blaze Grinder.
Fun. So, speaking of cards that have memories and stuff to them. Also, I absolutely was not paying attention to my health or rune points. I just happened to stop at the exact right moment. But speaking of cards with memories to them, do you think I should put Battle of Wits in there?
Maybe.
Is you not working? Is the Blaze Grinder not going so well?
Well, I realized I probably should have started making it at a lower level.
Hmm.
And... yeah. Well, mainly because, yeah, the whole idea is, you have the player stand somewhere, where mobs aren't going to be spawning. So you should probably have it down where everything around the player platform is lava.
Reasonable.
Except I didn't think about that. And it's just like, I'll just build walls around the player area and put slabs in there
Yeah.
for the floor. But the main issue there is just going to be that all of the mobs outside. That
Yeah,
spawn
I mean, just
outside that area.
slab, slab. It's a shame you can't just build the Blaze Grinder, like, just anywhere in the Nether. Or else you could build it up on the roof.
Wait, what?
You should be able to get through Bedrock just by throwing a bunch of Ender Pearls at it.
Can you build past the bedrock?
In the Nether, I'm, like, completely certain that maybe not in specifically this mod pack, I don't know. But in general in Minecraft, you can build above the bedrock of the Nether.
Huh.
It's used in the all, or it was used at least in the all advancement speedrun.
But I will definitely say that
Locations.
one thing that would be very helpful is I need something to destroy lots of blocks quickly.
Oh, you need my hammer.
Yes.
Hammer,